All right, so, well, there's going to be no transmutation spell for these motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Got a message. Interesting one, too. And I love it. All right, so here is the message. I'll do my purging after I'm done with the live, as typical. So there will be no transmutation spells, collective. No transmutation. What do I mean? All right, so those that are understanding of alchemy, understanding what we've been doing, as I heard another content creator talk about how we all have been doing it since the beginning of ages. We've all done it. We all do it on an unofficial scale, even when it's just simply you are taking the negative in your life and you're somehow pushing through and you're turning it into something good for yourself. That is a basic, most common form of transmutation, okay, that any and everybody do without needing to be into any sort of alchemy or any sort of ritual works or energy works or spell work, right? So what I find fascinating about the message, as it says, no, there will be no transmutation for them. This is, the groups of people, and some of them are the powers that be. Now, I'm just going to add that too. Some of them are definitely the powers that be, but others are just, your regular average Joe Schmo and Josephine Schmo, just like you and I. And so, again, everybody does it, right? You and I have been doing it on a basic level. People, especially people who have moxie, right? People who have got gumption and all of that. That's essentially a person who knows how to take hits and then they'll absorb the energy, right? They'll absorb it and then they're going to use it, right? As their thrive and drive to push, which is alchemy, so that they can alchemize and have something turn out to work out for them in their favor. So everybody does it. Now, toxic people, the powers that be, and the toxic karmics or haters, some of them have used their hatred, their fury, their disdain, and utter obsessions regarding some of you as alchemy. Right? They have used it as alchemy, right? To try to make their lives good. Now, the reason why I think there's no transmutation in this case for these people, couple reasons. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this practical and make it make sense for those that are into like the baneful workings, like they know about energy work and they know about spells, right? They know about energy work and they know about spells. So it's no secret of, you can create a transmutation spell where basically anytime your name is mentioned, spoken of, wrote down for whatever reason, anytime it's discussed in a negative light, that it's alchemized and you can transmute it into what you want it to be. And that's good. Okay. Now this group, the reason why this is going to go to the left, they don't know that it's going to go to the left, but the reason why it's going to go to the left is because higher ranking energy has stepped in. Number one, I need to put that in there. Higher authority, higher ranking energies have stepped in, okay, under the evocation of the light beings, okay? And this is in the name of justice, okay? Because what these people are do, I'm gonna give some examples. They'll say stuff like, you know how people can do you shitty and dirty? I'll just use regular life. Somebody can do you shitty and dirty. They can go behind your back. They can steal from you. They can cause hurt and harm, blockages for you and your children. They can do more than a little bit, right? No, full goddamn well, they did more than a little bit and had hidden dishonor. Now, when it hits the fan, when it comes out, when the collectives of people start to speak up on it and tell their story, their truth, or they attempt to stand up for themselves, they attempt to, alert authorities, they attempt to, whatever it is, then these people in their disillusionment and their cowardliness, the way they have lived their lives trying to escape retribution for their actions, and in their disillusionment of, feeling like they shouldn't have to suffer consequences for their behavior. And that's typical of a narcissist, by the way. So narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, I'm sorry, I don't care if these people aren't diagnosed, but you got to kind of believe and think that only a narcissist or somebody very, very close in that energy, okay, is really convinced that they're being done an injustice because people start to stand up and speak out about what they have done. Okay, so they become victims when enough people start telling the story or the truth of what happened in their behavior and conduct. And then that victim, because they're either the victor or the victim. Okay, so they become the victim when justice is being served. Okay, people are speaking out. You're standing up for yourself, defending yourself, all of that. They become the victim. And now they want to be like, the devil is a liar. This is the kind of shit that trips me out. Because that's when they get into this disillusionment. Whether they're religious or spiritual. It's like, oh, the devil is a liar, no weapon formed, and all of that kind of shit. It's like, that's a form of trying to say, transmutation. That's not how this is supposed to work. Okay, you don't get to go around causing mayhem, and then when people speak about the mayhem, then want to go and say, well, the devil is a lie, and the devil is a lie, and every time somebody, whoop-de-woo, no weapon, all of a sudden, I'm saying, quoting all this shit. No, you was about that mayhem. Ain't no devil is a lie. You's the one. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Not this time. Higher ranking energy has stepped up now. There will be no transmutation. There will be no evocation of utilizing transmutation rituals or spells to evade karmic justice. This is another way that they have continued to try to benefit without doing any real work. I'm going to just say that. Without putting in diligence and their own authentic seeds and efforts. This is another way some of the powers that be, and even just your average Joe, have done that. Okay? But for whatever reason, as this year is wrapping up, for some of these groups, because that's what I heard last night, or it was earlier this morning, I heard there will be no transmutation for them. They can go to, and this is how it's going to go, and y'all will see for yourself if this story is for you. Eventually, this is going to unfold. You're going to find out. They can go to practitioner to practitioner. They can, ask others to do shit. It's not going to work. Because see, now it's tagged. It's going to be tagged. It's tagged. And y'all know what happens when something is tagged. So their energy signature, their name is tagged. It doesn't matter where they go, and it's not going to matter what they fail to disclose. It's not going to matter how they try to spin it. There's been a higher ranking energy that has stepped up that said, very well. See, this is their sneaky behavior to begin with. So there now is going to be even a higher ramification every time they attempt to do a transmutation spell to somehow still benefit, pretending to be a victim when their targets decide to tell the truth or speak up and stand out and defend themselves. This is to bring in true karmic justice. And I'm going to make that plain and clear to the world. Enough. I'm going to make it clear. I'm going to say it like a broken goddamn record. I'm going to say it. Okay? Because there's a lot of dizzy energy in this universe. A lot of dizzy. And what I mean by dizzy is, once again, this utter loss of connection with the self, this utter loss of being able to be introspective and to see one's state and condition and behavior for what it is. See, narcs have an overinflated sense of self, an overinflated sense of grandeur, but it's an illusion. Their real self is frail and fragile. Okay? And so in this disillusionment that they start to convince themselves, they do believe that they're above. They believe they're larger than life and above life. And because of how smart they are, at least how they're trying to convince themselves they are, and how they are trying to convince the world they are, that they can do all these baneful things to people. They can do all these, they get, because they get away with it. It's worked in the past. Because of their, psychotic and kind of pathological ways, they're like, hey, I can do this, and then I can play the victim. If, when shit start coming out, I can play like I'm the victim. I can try to turn the tables and be like, the devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? No weapon formed against me. I shall rise, and, no... No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and I'm the head and not the tail. And here they go, spinning spells. Well, in this case, these transmutation spells are not going to work for these motherfuckers. Whether it's that they're quoting and they're doing it on an official level, or they're just simply using their hatred or disdain for you to kind of give them fuel to push. Because under healthy circumstances, that's a good thing. For targets, for those that have been victimized by people, that is a good thing, because what you're doing is, that's the resilience. You're using the injustices of your life, right? But they're trying to take on that role as if it's them. No, they're the ones that have caused the injustices. They are the injustice causers. They are the ones that have created and create injustice and imbalances for people. And now no more are they going to be able to sit here and play that role, nigga, and try to do some transmutation spells, bitch. That is not going to work any goddamn more. Higher ranks pulling the rank now. So it's not going to be a matter of if this is a practitioner of practitioners that have been on the earth since earth was and practicing since ever there were practices. It's not going to matter. Because justice, people are delusional. They're delusional. They're sitting up there doing all sorts of shit. And then when they get in karma for it, or when people are standing up and standing out, they're somewhere sitting on a duffs, talking about, injustice and, shut up spell. And they're doing all this shit in their disillusionment. Let the record show. Let's get something clear and straight. Universe, beings, floundering about in this universe. Hear ye, hear ye. You don't get to be fucked up. I don't care if you've managed your whole ratchet existence to keep things on a hush and in secret. You don't get to be fucked up your entire life, every day of your life, rising and setting to cause mayhem in people's lives, injustices, imbalances, and then turn your happy ass around claiming the victim and trying to do transmutation because people dare to tell the truth about your whole ass. Some of you, powers that be, this has been allowed for you far too long. You're lazy. The only thing that these people aren't lazy at is fuckery. You didn't want to develop and cultivate in a normal, healthy, balanced way. You want to be fucked up, and then when you're getting called on it, you want to talk about transmutation to be able to still create off of even after you've stolen from people. Judgment is on your head. Justice is going to prevail, and there are higher ranking energies coming in to ensure this for those divine ones that have evoked it and commanded. Okay, let's just say, stick a fork in it. You can transmutation from here into kingdom come until you leave those flesh jackets of yours. The entities that jump on you are under judgment too. The shapeshifters, them things. Stick a fork in it. You're done.